Hello, it's me, that sandwich guy, and today I'm here to talk about my personal tier list of the primaries on Pyro. I will be splitting this tier list into multiple categories: DPS, air blasting capability, combo potential, and my overall ranking. Anyways, let's get on with the video. The Flamethrower. It's the stock primary weapon for Pyro. It costs 20 ammo per air blast and has an overall good design. It's the simplest of the flamethrowers and will be the base to compare from each of the other flamethrowers. The Degreaser is a very interesting weapon. It has such a simple concept: a faster weapon switch speed for a slightly heftier air blast cost of 25 ammo, and also terrible afterburn damage. But honestly, I see that as a very minuscule thing, as the player should not be relying on afterburn for each kill. And because of the Jungle Inferno afterburn change, the downside that this adds is not really that terrible. Plus, it's incredible use in combos, all because of its faster weapon switch speed. It makes actions such as flare punching an ease compared to using any of the other flamethrowers. The backburner is a great example of an interesting weapon concept, critting your enemy while shooting their back, all for the downside of an expensive air blast cost of 50 ammo. I have a lot to say about this weapon, but that's for another time. In its current state, it's amazing for DPS because of its crit mechanic, but will be short-lived as your target can simply turn around and destroy you. From an air blasting view, it's awful, just because of its costs. Depending on the game mode, this weapon can be either useless or one of the best weapons in Pyro's arsenal, but it really just depends on that. This weapon has been seen in some interesting lights. Some people say it's overpowered, some people say it's fine, and others say it's underpowered. As I've said, I feel the stats should be changed. I have a whole video on that, I'll link it in the description. Basically, you'll gain crits from burning players for the removal of air blast on your primary. Its DPS potential is incredible, but for comboing and air blasting, it's practically out the window. Its reliability as a weapon is hit or miss, because with the removal of air blast, any class can easily take you down without a worry. But if you can successfully get a few picks to earn the crit damage, you may be able to use it to its fullest potential. Being the newest flamethrower, or hybrid of the flamethrower and flare gun, this weapon is in an interesting state. Before the Blue Moon change, it was considered to be overpowered. I didn't see it as overpowered though. Since the Blue Moon change, the weapon was nerfed to a good degree. Its projectile size was decreased, and the bonus damage required the center of the projectile to hit the enemy's hitbox. This made the weapon a bit harder to master, which is fine. For air blasting, it's not too great. It works, but the cooldown is a lot longer than every other flamethrower, which gives the enemy a good opportunity to just destroy you. Also, its combo potential is not that great. It's possible, but not as reliable. The categories that I mentioned at the beginning of the video are now coming into play. Here are my personal rankings for each of the primaries in their respective categories. For DPS, the Flog takes the top spot because of its on-the-spot crits if prepared. For my second pick, it's the Backburner, for its massive crit damage when behind enemies, but may be short-lived as the enemy can simply turn around. For the third spot, the Dragon's Fury, as its bonus damage allows you to deal more damage, but will require a good bit of aiming to actually get the bonus damage. For the fourth spot, it's the stock Flamethrower. For the last spot, it's the Degreaser for its decreased afterburn damage. For air blasting, the Degreaser wins for the fact that switching to it will be a lot faster than any of the other weapons, for extinguishing and reflex. Stock takes a close second as it has the smallest air blast cost while still being a very reliable tool for air blasting. The Backburner takes third place for its expensive air blast cost, and hopefully you can deal with someone in less than 4 air blasts. The Dragon's Fury takes fourth as its cooldown on air blast is longer than every other flamethrower. This makes the weapon for air blasting less reliable and more risky. The Flog takes the last spot because it literally has no air blast. There's nothing I can do with that. It's disqualified. That's it. For comboing potential, the Degreaser is the leading primary for comboing with secondaries and melees for its faster weapon switch speed. The second spot goes to stock. It's decent for comboing, but not the best. The Dragon's Fury takes the third spot for first landing flares and then burning the enemy with the Dragon's Fury, which is the main way to combo with it. The Backburner comes in fourth because if it's still actually having air blast, if it is needed in a combo, then it will actually be useful for it, but don't rely on that. And the Flog is in last because it really doesn't have anything that would help in combos besides flaming the enemy, which every other flamethrower does. In my opinion, the Degreaser still tops every other flamethrower for its faster weapon switch speed for combos, air blast, and general pyro shenanigans, all for a lesser afterburn output, which players shouldn't even be relying on, as it really is just a fallback option. The stock flamethrower comes next with its overall rounded gameplay, cheap air blast, and normal damage. It's pretty good for a stock weapon. For the third spot, the Backburner for its manageable air blasting penalty and its critical damage from behind. This weapon has some great potential in flank situations or fighting enemies that are fleeing. And in fourth place, the Phlogistinator. It has some potential in fighting, but because of it having no air blast, I don't see much use out of it myself. And last but not least, the Dragon's Fury. While not being a terrible weapon, I don't use it that much. I see it as the black sheep out of Pyro's primaries. Its bonus damage is nice and all, but I could get the same effect with the other weapons, plus air blasting is sluggish and unreliable with it. So that's all for the video. Sorry if it seems rushed. I was trying to relax over this vacation. Also, I genuinely thank you all for 250 subscribers. I do plan on doing more public events on the Just Play TF2 server, but I'll talk about that some other time. Well, bye.